Welcome to another Super Deluxe Edition unboxing video. Today we're going to take a look at the recent reissue of U2's All That You Can't Leave Behind album. This is the vinyl box set, the Super Deluxe vinyl box set that I'm holding in my hands. And this has 11 vinyl records in it. Can you believe it? Weighs an absolute ton. I've left the shrink wrap on so you can see the sticker at the top there, which goes over the top and down the back. So that's going to be a bit of a bitch to get off and store somewhere. The sticker gives us all the information we need, so there isn't one of those spec sheets at the back of this. I'm going to take the cellophane off so you can see this in all its glory. Okay, so I've removed the shrink wrap from this box set. So you can see it's got the some of the design elements from the original album, which came out in 2000. It looks good, I like it, quite minimal. I particularly like this design here, which you'll see in a minute extends into the inner box. I'm going to put it down for a second and we're going to take the inside out and have a look. This isn't a lift off lid box as you might have worked out. It has this inner box, which, as I say, has this rather groovy design treatment with all the titles of the songs. Very, very sturdy. And the outer box is pretty rigid, but so is the inner box. So it's got this slight cut here to help you get the contents in and out. So we're going to go through this now one by one. We'll start off with the book. So basically it's a book and a load of vinyl records, so we'll start off with the book. So this book is it's called a travel log. It's obviously by Anton Corbijn, who did so much photography for U2, still does, I think. It's easy to dismiss these books, but he has just brought out that book with Depeche Mode, which was 1,500 quid. There was a 750 quid version as well, but the point is, you know, his books can go for quite a lot of money. So even though this is a relatively slim volume, you know, it's still all his pictures, and they're all annotated, handwritten annotations at the bottom of each page. So the reason this is called a travel log is because he's basically following them around as they travel from airport to airport. There's Dublin, Paris. I think this is the airport where they took the shots for the album cover, which don't actually form part of this book, which I thought they would, but they don't. There's not too much in the way of writing, but Anton's annotations are quite interesting. So the photos obviously look great. You wouldn't expect anything less than that. So as I say, you know, relatively slim volume, but it's, you know, it's nice enough. But in terms of the records, we'll go through them one by one now. Let's start off with the album. Now, I do really like this record. I mean, U2 get a bit of stick. This is the first album since Pop came out, which hasn't been reissued yet. This was a big return to form. I mean, they had some massive hits of this. Beautiful Day obviously was a big hit. It's interesting, Beautiful Day is one of those records where I never really want to hear it. I never go out of my way to listen to it. But when you do hear it on the radio or someone plays it, you do think, yeah, this is a good song. But it's, you know, it's obviously very simple, very straightforward. I actually really like the second side of this record. I mean, the first side has got the singles on it, Stuck in a Moment, Elevation, Beautiful Day, Walk On, but it's the second side of the album I actually prefer, with Wild Honey, Peace on Earth, New York, Grace, all those kind of tracks. And Kite is good as well. I think that's on side, that might be on side one. I mean, this is now a 2 LP set for the first time. They've spread it out, and The Ground Beneath Her Feet was never on the vinyl record originally, but it is now, so that's a little bonus there. This isn't a gatefold, it's a 2-record set, but it's not a gatefold. And what we've got, 2 black vinyl records in polyline sleeves. But maybe surprisingly, given we've already got that book, there is quite a thick booklet that goes with this. They've probably just reproduced the original booklet. I don't have this on vinyl from the original one. It's got lyrics and photos. It's probably why they haven't used any of these photos in that book, actually, because they know that there's lots of them in this book. That's a pretty thick, pretty sizable book. Obviously it's large format, which is great. So that's the album itself. So we're 2 records into the set then, so that's the album. And this is the stalwart of the box set, isn't it? It's the B-sides and outtakes disc. This is a single vinyl record, and this is quite straightforward. This just gathers up the extra tracks from the singles. So Summer Rain, Always, Love You Like Mad, Big Girls Are Best, Don't Take Your Guns to Town, which was the Johnny Cash tribute. And what's good about this is it's mainly songs. There's an acoustic version of Stuck in a Moment you can't get out of. But other than that, it's all actual extra songs, which is pretty good. So that should make this album quite playable. This is a sort of 1-sheet insert. Quite a good treatment of the photograph, the kind of reverse treatment. So that's that. So this is a double album. This is a live album, Elevation, live in Boston. And this is the track listing. It's the same one from the DVD that was released, I think. So a few people were disappointed that they hadn't chosen some different live audio, because everyone's already heard the Boston gig from the video formats that came out. But anyway, there's the gatefold for that. Same thing as before. Black vinyl, polyline sleeve. Actually, I was saying this is a double. This is actually a triple. There's 2 more records there. This is a 3 LP set. Yeah, so 6 sides, there's the track listing. It's a pretty good track listing. So we're already 6 albums in. So the double album for the studio album, the extra album for the B-sides and the rarities, and then 3 records for the live album. So what happens next is, in the CD box, which was 5 CDs, you're basically 4 CDs into it at the moment. So you've got 1 CD for the album, 1 CD for the B-sides, and 2 CDs for the live album. So on the vinyl, you're 6 LPs in. And whereas on the CD box set, you get 1 disc of remixes at the end. This is the slightly controversial thing about this box set. 1 CD of remixes gets replaced by 5 records in this vinyl box set. So that's not very good, is it? That's the front cover of this record. It's got marks on it. Yeah, so feels quite excessive. This box set is £180. And part of the reason it's £180 is because it has 11 records in it. Well, do you need 11 records in it? Is the question that should be asked. Because most of these records here, they're 12 inches. They are on 180 gram vinyl, but I'm presuming they're pressed on 45 RPM. Most of them just have 2 tracks on, remixes. So there's 2 versions of Elevation. And these are treated like they're an album, you know. Sort of 180 gram, polyline sleeve, blah, blah, blah. But that is a 12-inch single, really. So they could have probably shoved all these on a double album, but they've chosen to do them separately, which is a flashy thing to do, but it certainly adds to the cost. So this one has 3 remixes on it. So a couple of these remixes are new. I must admit, I'm not sure which of the new ones are. I know some of the older ones, but I couldn't tell you what the brand new ones are. That's the only unreleased thing in this whole box set, the couple of new remixes that are on here. But there's In a Little While, Walk On, When I Look at the World. Same thing, I'm not going to get every record out, but that's that. Beautiful Day. So these two remixes are original mixes, the Perfecto mix, and then this other mix here was on one of the other singles. This is New York, so there's two versions of New York. Big Apple, I like it. And then Elevation, so same kind of thing, couple of remixes. 11 remixes, there's 5 records, so it does seem a bit over the top if you ask me. And there's 2 that have elevation on it as well. I mean, do you really need 12 inches of elevation in this box set? I don't know. Answers on a postcard. But yeah, there you can see the spines of all those 12 inches. So it's a hell of a lot of vinyl, there's no two ways about it. So if they hadn't included these, or if they'd done something different, it would have been a 6, maybe an 8 LP set, something like that. But it's, you know, it's 11 records. It's even more than the Elton John box, which was 9 albums. The only other content in here is this little wallet. Well, it's really like a giant envelope. It's got a poster in it. This unfolds. One side, it's a two-sided poster. Well, so one side looks like that, and the other side looks like that. Now it's folded, so you kind of think, well, what am I supposed to do with that? For 180 quid, you could have had a poster in a tube, maybe. So anyway, so that's the poster goes in like that, and then working backwards, just put all the vinyl records in. And then finally the book slots in here. So that's all the content in the inner box. This box here goes on top. And then you have the All That You Can't Leave Behind box set. Things I like about this box set: the design is fantastic, the construction is fantastic, and it's a pretty solid summation of this era. Things I don't like about it: it's very expensive, it's £180. And arguably, all those 12 inches are just a bit superfluous. It just seems excessive. The other thing I don't like about this box set is it doesn't offer any surprises. There's no demos, there's no audio that hasn't been released before other than a few modern remixes. It's not lacking wow factor in presentation, but it is lacking wow factor in content. There's nothing to sort of delight and surprise. The live album is the same as the one that you've already heard from the video. So that's sort of indicative of the whole thing. It does the job solidly, but it's just lacking a little bit in inspiration. Doesn't detract from the fact that this is a fine album. Do you need to spend £180 on this box set? Well, I think it's going to depend totally on how much you like U2 and how much you like this album. So I hope you've enjoyed this look at All That You Can't Leave Behind, the vinyl box set. If you have enjoyed it, then why not subscribe to the Super Deluxe Edition YouTube channel for more great physical music unboxed. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.